Hi everyone, and welcome to Your Best Self. I'm Dr. Stephen Davidowitz, also known as Dr. D. I am very excited to welcome today's co-host. Now, you may recognize Sarah Ramsey from her last appearance here on the show. We liked you so much, Sarah, that we had to have you back.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
So, very important question before we get into the show. Did you get that New York slice of pizza on your last visit?
I absolutely did, and it was fabulous. And I have been in 3 states since our last meeting. None of the pizzas compared to New York City's. That is a promise.
Go New York. What was second place, if I could ask?
Oh gosh, I have a friend who owns a pizza place in Tennessee, and they spent 2 years in Italy growing things and working in Olive Gardens and all that kind of thing. So theirs is pretty good too.
Good. Now that that's out of the way, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you've been up to, and remind our audience what you do?
Yeah, so most people know me from the podcast Toxic Person Proof, and it has trended everywhere from Ireland to South Africa, and obviously here in the US. And I wrote the book, Becoming Toxic Person Proof, and I want our listeners to pay attention to the subtitle, which is Clear the Confusion and Learn to Trust Yourself. And people kept coming to me over a broken heart, over a relationship, and then they would leave with a raise over and over and over. And I, in fact, earned the nickname of Success Fairy. And it was really these problem-solving techniques that I was teaching them and really learning how to trust yourself and making a decision. So my future ventures as a professional problem solver is in that work.
That's amazing. Well, we're so happy to have you here. And will you do the honor of introducing our first guest?
I would love to introduce our first guest, and honor is certainly the right word. Our next guest is such a legend, and it's my pleasure to introduce her to the show. This is celebrity fashion designer and all-around icon, Nichole-Mille. Welcome, Nichole.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So it's amazing to have you here.
It is. It's so amazing to have you on the show. And we understand that you're celebrating an anniversary of 40 years in fashion. Congratulations.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I've been in business 40 years.
So what has that been like for you?
It's actually 40 years in June, so it's exactly 40 years. So I don't know, it's like a blink of an eye. I mean, I feel like, we started the business like last week. It just went so fast. And we didn't start having fashion shows originally. We started in about 91, so it was about 30 years of fashion shows. So, and I can't believe I did so many. I mean, so it's like over 60 shows I've done. So it's been quite a journey, and it's been a lot of fun. I've had a great time.
Well, you may recognize my earrings today. Yes, you have been making the world a more beautiful place. You've made me feel beautiful today. So happy to have you here.
Your name has been a part of my household growing up all the way through the decades, and it still resonates with those young, middle-aged, and old. It's really, really
Did you wear
remarkable.
your ties? My ties when you were a kid?
Yes, I did. I did.
Yeah. So what is your secret for having such a successful business for so long?
Well, I mean, I think, first of all, I can do every job in the place. I'm really like a technical designer, and I went to art school and I went to design school. And I've just been very involved in the design process, the whole thing. And also, I just feel like I've been very resilient because if something doesn't work, I just keep trying something else. I feel I can be very involved in everything from the print design to the creating the fabric and all the technical aspect of the clothing.
So talking about adapting to the times, I heard that during the pandemic, you were working with avatars. Could you explain?
Well, I mean, I was actually working with avatars before the pandemic, especially with this company, Covet, which is one of the primary ones we worked with. And we have our own, like, Nichole-Mille avatar. Doesn't look exactly like me. It's a little taller and thinner, but does have red hair. And, people can dress the avatar, and we give them a selection of our clothes from every season. And then they make little models of it, and people can go in and dress it and style it, and they have contests, and people can win the contests, or they can shop for clothes. They can do a lot of things. But, it's been a really fun, partnership and association with that. But there's more and more of that happening all the time. So I just see that being a bigger part of our future, too.
So incredible. So what is your proudest accomplishment?
Oh, well, probably my son, of course.
Aw.
Well designed. But no, I mean, I've had a lot of great success over the years. I mean, like when we dressed Angelina Jolie, and after that, Mr. and Mrs. That dress became very famous. She wore it after the Mr. and Mrs. Smith
I
premiere.
remember that dress.
Yes, yes. And I just remember I went to the airport and it was on the cover of every tabloid magazine. And, a lot of celebrities over the years, Joss Stone, Beyonce. So we've really gotten to dress some great, great people.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I really want to know what it is for Nichole-Mille to live your best life, especially over the past 2.5 years after the pandemic.
I have to say, I think, now we were, subjected to just like such a quarantine for so long. And it's been just so great to be able to travel again and go places and go out to restaurants. And I just, this year, I actually went to Portugal and I went to St. Bart's and I went to Miami. And so it's just great to be out there and go places again and experience the world. So yeah, love traveling.
Nichole, thank you so much for all these years of making the world a more beautiful place. And thanks for coming.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
And we'll be right back.